Peace. Man, had to get on here, man. Looking at everybody tripping on this Trump stuff, man. You know, want to say a couple of things, but I just wanted to get on here and smile too. Want to see everybody get on here and see my teeth. I'm just looking around. It's funny. It's just everybody's so mad. Why is everybody so mad, man? That's all I really want to know. Why y'all so mad? I swear the way people are responding to this, it would be like white supremacy didn't exist, and last night they was wondering like, damn, which way is it gonna go? Is we gonna get white supremacy if Trump win, and we ain't gonna get white supremacy if Hillary wins? This is literally how people have been acting, you know? And it's just like, yo, why y'all so mad today, but you wasn't mad before? You should have been mad before, you know, and that's the thing. It's just like years ago when I was paying attention to all these things, and I was mad then. Okay, we've been mad. Many of us have been mad at white supremacy this whole time. So to sit here and act like white supremacy has been decided, oh my God, the Trump, as if Hillary is already a demonstrated white supremacist. Okay, so you should have been mad, and many of you were, but I'm saying you should have been mad and going around hanging your head and all of that shit way back when you figured out you only had Trump and Hillary to choose from. You know, so I just want to know why everybody's so mad. I want to get on here and smile. I actually today feel like a great day. I gives not a fuck about all that Trump stuff, you know. But I do want to clear this up. That it's it's not that it's of no consequence that Donald Trump just won this. So that definitely this will affect the collective consciousness of the nation. You're gonna have a lot of suspected white supremacists and white supremacists emboldened by this move, and this will change the collective consciousness. And we don't know exactly what will be coming with this presidency. However, you know, it was bad already. You know what I'm saying? Like, people saying a lot of these things, but it was already bad. They're like, well, now they're gonna do this, this, and this. Because the one thing I did hear Trump say in the debate, Trump talked about stop and frisk in regard to Chicago. Hillary and he were speaking, and he's talked about stop and frisk. But when you're talking about stop and frisk, Chicago, that's just one city that has nothing to do with the rest of everything else. But when you have the president getting up saying, oh yeah, well, what we're gonna do about crime is stop and frisk, and stop and frisk is gonna help things out. That, and him saying we want to strengthen border patrol, we want to strengthen police. See, these kind of things do have an impact. So I'm not going to say it doesn't have an impact, but I'm gonna tell you like this. Deep into Obama's presidency, I got locked up for 18 days while I was working 2 jobs, one of them for the damn state. Locked up for 18 days, lost my job, had to pay all kind of money, never got any type of recourse to sue or anything. So under Obama, the police locked me up and had me in jail for nothing, flipped my whole entire life upside down. This happened under Obama. So, you know, don't get so caught up thinking it's going to be this big, huge deal. You know, don't get so caught up, you know, but it isn't of any consequence. And then real quick, I want to talk about electoral college, because you hear everybody saying this. The electoral college, it doesn't matter. The popular vote doesn't matter because the electoral college. Okay, look, you have to look at the fact that you have 50 states. Okay, you got 50 states, and then you have, you know, 350 or so million voters. If you didn't have some type of method for small states like Rhode Island, Vermont, and all these different states, if you didn't have a method for them to have some type of power where presidential candidates had to come by and take their state's needs into serious account, it wouldn't be a United States. So you can't just go off the popular vote, because people would just go to New York, California, Texas, and just court the large states. And then the smaller ones and their needs, because each state has different needs, they would just be left in the dust. You understand that? Now, people like to say, well, it doesn't matter what the popular vote, the electoral college chooses. That's true. But the electoral college, pretty much every time, like 99% of the time, they go with what the electors in the state do. So the popular vote in the section of where the electors are does matter. Now, the truth is, and I will say, the electors do have the ability to go in another route. than what the voters say. This is true. So that's a fact. But to say that the vote doesn't matter because the electors get to choose whatever they want to choose, that's intellectually dishonest. Because most of the time they do go in the direction of what it says. And if we have a situation where the popular vote in a sector goes against what the elector voted, we at least can see that. So we can see that, and that's something that we can take note of. So to sit and say, oh, well, it doesn't matter because the electors can do whatever they want. It does matter. It does matter. There is a power to voting. There's way more to voting than what's on the presidential, what the presidential candidate is doing. So, I don't want to get into all of that. People like to go all the way to the extreme. The answer is never that extreme. It's always a matter of doing both. But yeah, I mean, Donald Trump, that's electoral college. And, if anything, I'm happy. If anything, I'm happy because we have a group of black folks that when I jump outside of my little bubble, because I create a bubble for myself. It's certain frequencies that I can't inherit. It's certain energy I can't inherit. People just being lost in the sauce, not knowing what's going on. I have to observe y'all from afar, to be honest, as much as I can. I'm always going to be engaged with my people. I'm always going to be here to teach and do whatever I can do for my community. But I live in a bubble to a certain extent. I don't deal with a bunch of lost ass people that's too plugged into the matrix. But when I step outside of that, there's black folks that are just so lost. They don't even understand who their enemy is. They don't understand that you're still in an unbroken ma'afa, which would be if the Jews had a Holocaust, our version of the Holocaust is called the ma'afa, starting all the way from slave ships in Africa and that whole process. So the state is still against you. You have no real stake and no real control and power in that process as black people. So you should be seeing the state as such. So I think Trump being in office is going to impact the way that we view what's being done to us. And that's the most important thing to me because I believe in self-determination. Some people want to see an increase of quality of life. They'll see an affirmative action thing and they'll be happy, right? Affirmative action, bang, we got jobs, and we do need jobs. However, we need to control the context of our reality. So that job does not necessarily do that for us. So as soon as white people feel like flipping the script, or whoever has the power, which is whites, the dominant society here, if they want to flip the script on you because they gave you an affirmative action job that gave you no power. So you need to be thinking in terms of self-determination. What can we do for self? And the more black people can understand, and if we can create a collective consciousness where we say, listen, we have to do what we have to do for us. If we can create that situation, we'll do more things and we'll have more power, and we will impact the politicians. The politicians are supposed to be responding to the people. If that makes sense, the politicians should be responding to the people. We have the power to change things. And until we see that, we're not going to, nothing's going to change. You can't be helpless and hopeless and not believing you can change things, because you can. So I think if people see Trump, they'll see this government for the enemy that it really is, because we have this predisposition with white males because they're the ones who do a majority. They have done a majority of the damage. They hold the most of the power, and they do most of the dirty work on behalf of white supremacy. But you guys, you sleep on white women. So I guess if Hillary Clinton would have got in, I guess it wouldn't have been as bad. But you guys sleep on white women because that's the white woman sitting right next to that white man doing the same thing. So we can't sleep on them, but I do understand our people would. So again, Trump is in office. Maybe our people could see it. Maybe they'll listen. Maybe our people will be more acclimated toward self-determination as a strategy to get out of the situation than anything else. So, again, I got on here, I'm just talking now, but I really just wanted everybody to see me smiling. I'm good. The sky is not falling, Chicken Little. Chill. Because it was already bad stuff going on already. The police are already fucking with me now. Dig? They already flipped my life on top of his head now. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here not doing that, mind my damn business. Bringing my daughter from a Kwanzaa event, my whole life gets flipped upside down. They charge me all kind of money, have me in jail for 18 fucking days for no reason. This all happened deep into Obama's presidency. Okay? So to sit here and act as if it's this big thing, this still can happen. You know what I mean? It wasn't sweet. It wouldn't have been sweet if Hillary was in. Hillary was the one locking your ass up in the 90s. She was doing way worse. I mean, her and her husband, it was a way worse situation for us then. So I really don't understand like all of this, you know, like that was the vote for white supremacy right there, man. Knock it off. But yeah, man, I'm gonna get up out of here. Ain't nobody got no questions and no comments or nothing, man. I'm gonna go ahead and log it up. Man, you feel me, Kev? You know what I mean? People acting like this was the deciding factor. Like, damn it, we almost didn't have white supremacy. Now we got it. Fuck out of here, man. You know? But yeah, man, I think I pretty much covered everything I wanted to cover, man. But so yeah, y'all have a good day, man. Smile. You know, get all about your feelings. You know, you've been living in the same type of military, you know, you're in the same situation. You're in the same situation. This is not, again, and let me clarify, this is not of no consequence that Donald Trump, particularly over Hillary Clinton, is in. This will do something to the collective consciousness of a lot of suspected white supremacists and white supremacists with the rhetoric that he was, you know, the rhetoric he was spewing out, the ideas that he was putting out. But I will say this. I watched that acceptance speech, and that seemed like a way more mellow. He didn't go up there like he was going in the campaign trail. You know what I mean? When he was talking, he didn't go up there the same. It was a little different. He was like a little more serious or like business. Like, well, yes, we need to make America. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I thought you was going to flex on the Mexicans or something. I mean, the way you was talking, like, yeah, let's start. We're going to build the wall tomorrow. Like, he didn't go up there like that. So, but yeah. So I'll holler at y'all peoples later, man. Y'all have a good day. Smile, don't trip. You know, the sky ain't going to fall. So, man, peace.